Yeah, I knew who did it shortly after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are now where?
Oh, the guy who actually shot me is dead.
What goes around comes around. Hommo shot me, 3 weeks later he got shot down.
I remember Preem coming to the block one day, try to like sun 50 and rub his head.
You know what 50 did? Yeah.
That was the day I know Preem didn't like 50.
Back on May 24th, 2000, 50 Cent was shot a staggering 9 times with a handgun in a drive-by shooting right in front of his grandmother's house in South Jamaica, Queens, New York. According to various reports, 50 Cent was just chilling outside when a car rolled up and someone inside started blasting. He got hit in his hand, arm, hip, legs, chest, and even his face. It was brutal. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition and had to undergo multiple surgeries just to stay alive. The news of the shooting spread like wildfire, and it was shocking to many that someone as successful as 50 Cent could be targeted in such a manner. 50 Cent himself has talked about how this was a major turning point in his life. He realized how lucky he was to be alive and that he needed to make the most out of his second chance. The exact details of why he was shot remain a bit of a mystery, with several theories floating around. Some folks believed it was connected to his involvement in the drug trade, while others thought it might have been a personal beef. 50 always claimed the shooter was a low-level drug dealer who was killed just 3 weeks later.
Who did it?
Yeah, I knew who did it shortly after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are now where?
Oh, the guy who actually shot me is dead.
However, court testimony later revealed that a 3-person hit squad was sent after him because of a song he wrote that dissed drug kingpin Kenneth Supreme McGriff. John Ragan, who used to roll with McGriff, testified that after the shooting, McGriff and 2 other gang members met up, and McGriff was like, "I got him." But to really understand how all this went down, we need to go back to the early 1980s. That's when Supreme founded a gang named after himself, the Supreme Team, based in the Jamaica section of Queens, New York. Under his leadership, the gang grew to have hundreds of members and controlled the crack trade in the Baisley Park houses, where McGriff grew up. The gang was pulling in about $200,000 a day, but in 1987, McGriff was sentenced to 12 years in prison. He got out on parole in 1994, but by the end of that year, he was back behind bars. It wasn't until 1997 that he managed to get his convictions cleared and started a new chapter in his life. He got involved with Ja Rule and the folks at Murder Inc., where he became one of the main players, offering protection to the label's artists. During this time, Preem and 50 had a decent relationship, but 50's career was floundering. He wasn't a star yet and was far from being a famous rapper like Ja Rule. Things were tough for him, so he started dissing the entire industry in his song How to Rob just to get some attention and make a little money off his album. Then came the infamous beef with Ja Rule. According to 50, his friend Troy had robbed Ja. When Ja and 50 later met at a club, 50 wanted to clear the air, but Ja thought 50 was involved in the robbery. Ja later confirmed the robbery happened, but denied ever seeing 50 with the guy who robbed him.
But it had nothing to do with him. Like, I didn't even know you know this dude.
Supreme stepped in and asked 50 to stop harassing Ja, and since Preem was someone 50 looked up to, he agreed. But he kept dissing Ja in his song Your Life's on the Line, even though he cut out some lines mocking Ja as a studio gangster who needed Preem's help to get his chain back out of respect for Preem.
I don't believe you're in the Preem to get your back. Why you want to approach me? Because you know I put
in 1999, a tragic event shook both Preem and 50. Their mutual friend Black Just was The story goes that rapper E Moneybags wanted to buy a car from Preem and had paid a deposit. When E Moneybags wanted his money back, Preem laughed it off, telling him to forget about it. One day, E Moneybags shot at Preem while he was in a car with Black Just. Just got hit twice, including in the thigh. Instead of going straight to the hospital, which was nearby, Preem went to the hood and asked someone else to take Just to the hospital. This delay cost Just his life, making E Moneybags some serious enemies.
Just like that. He said that wasn't for Just. I just looked at him, man, and I say, E, that is Just. He's dead.
So the beef with Ja Rule didn't really cool down, and Preem was always in Ja's corner trying to talk 50 Cent into chilling out and stopping the but 50 was not too thrilled that Preem kept siding with Ja. Plus, Preem didn't see 50 as a potential superstar anyway. Why bother changing things up when you're making good money from an established star like Ja Rule?
I tell you personally, the people that you see like Irv, Ja, the people that are involved in the business aspect are
Then things really blew up when Ja and 50 performed at the same club and ended up in a brawl. 50 walked away with Ja Rule's chain, which he even flaunted in the music video for Life's on the Line. Naturally, Ja ran to Preem again to get his chain back, but this time 50 managed to get a watch in return.
I eat you for breakfast, a watch was exchanged for your necklace, and your bosses.
Preem was getting fed up with 50 because he was messing up his superstar's image, and this was the second time he had to step in to fix things for Ja. 50 was determined to bring down Inc., and his relationship with Preem kept getting worse. In an interview with XXL, 50 shared a story about hearing that Ja was filming in the Coliseum area. He decided to pay him a visit, packing a pistol and riding a motorbike over there. He ran into Preem, who told him, quote, "Hey, come here, don't even do it. I see you." Preem pulled him aside and 50 was like, "Yo, what's up with this dude?" Preem just told him to leave Ja alone, saying, Nah, I told you, leave them alone, man, you know they ain't gonna do nothing." Tony Yayo also shared a story about one of the encounters between Preem and 50 when their relationship was falling apart, where 50 showed Preem that he wasn't scared of him.
I remember Preem coming to the block one day and try to like sun 50 and rub his head.
You know what 50 did? Yeah, my
Do it back, yeah.
yeah, my
That was the day I know Preem didn't like 50.
To make things more intense, 50 started hanging out with E Moneybags, Big Nose Troy, and Green Eyed Born, all of whom had beef with Preem. Things hit a boiling point when 50 released the track Ghetto Quran, which leaked and got into Preem's hands. In the song, 50 mentioned Preem, and that didn't sit well with him at all.
Feared Prince and respected Preem. Boy, you slow, I'ma break it down illa. Supreme was the businessman and Prince was the
50 claimed that other artists had talked about Supreme and his shady past, and Supreme was fine with it, even happy that rappers were mentioning his gang in their songs. But when 50 brought him up, Preem got mad. Other gangsters from New York understood that 50's song was just a tribute, but Preem did not see it that way. Around this time, someone almost K-worded Supreme at a gas station, and Supreme thought 50 Cent was behind it. So he decided to take out his enemies, with 50 being the first on the list. Preem hired Daryl Baum, aka Hommo, who used to be Mike Tyson's bodyguard, to K-word 50 Cent for a hefty sum. Thankfully, 50 survived the attack, but it was not without its toll. For those of you who aren't familiar with who Daryl Baum, aka Hommo, was, let's rewind a bit. After making easy work of Luciferis in the first round, Iron Mike Tyson was gearing up for a big fight against Lennox Lewis, which would turn out to be the best-selling fight of his career. Now, in the world of boxing, there's this thing called a promo. Basically, a hyped-up interview to build interest for the fight. Tyson was known for his epic promos, but this time he started by dedicating it to a deceased friend, Daryl Hommo Baum.
There's no one can stop me. Links to the conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody ruthless. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous.
Mike, was that your shortest fight ever?
I bear witness there's only one God, and Muhammad, blessings and peace be upon him, is his prophet. I dedicate this fight to my brother, Daryl Baum, who died.
Hommo was once Tyson's bodyguard and also the man who nearly 50 Cent. In the few months after his decade-long stint in prison, Hommo became a bodyguard for the baddest man on the planet. He almost changed hip-hop history but ended up as a casualty in a gang war that wiped out his entire crew. Daryl Hommo Baum, a notorious gangster from the Lafayette Gardens projects in Brooklyn, earned his nickname not because he was a but because he was infamous for knocking people out with one punch and then robbing them as a teenager. Despite being only about 5'7" and walking with a limp, Hommo's reputation was fierce. So how did he end up as Iron Mike's bodyguard? Well, Hommo and Mike crossed paths in juvie during Mike's troubled youth. They went different ways. Mike became a heavyweight boxing champ while Hommo spent most of the 90s in prison for robbery. Hommo got out on New Year's Eve in 1999, and Tyson, knowing his friend would struggle to reintegrate into society, tried to help him out. He gave Hommo a car, cash, a Rolex, and a job as his bodyguard. But rumor has it Hommo had trouble accepting handouts and wanted to make his own money. Shortly after his release, Hommo joined the Peanut Crew street gang and got involved with Kenneth Supreme McGriff. But by then, Hommo was 34 and the streets were crawling with younger, hungrier gangsters. Despite this, Hommo quickly made his presence known and started pressuring dealers to sell drugs for him. At that time, he was also allegedly staying at Tyson's mansion in Connecticut, the same mansion that 50 Cent would later buy from Tyson. Now, after the beef between 50 Cent and Supreme escalated, Preem ordered a hit on 50. On May 24th, 2000, 50 left his grandmother's house with his son inside and his grandmother in the front yard. As he got into the back seat of a car, another car pulled up and an assailant walked up to the window firing 9 shots from a 9mm pistol. 50 was hit in the hand, arm, hip, both legs, chest, and left cheek, a few inches higher, and he wouldn't have made it. Miraculously, after 3 weeks in the hospital and multiple surgeries, 50 pulled through. His survival became one of the most legendary stories in rap folklore. 3 years later, the track Many Men would reveal Hommo as the shooter, but by then Hommo was long dead, not by 50's doing or blessing.
What goes around comes around. Hommo shot me, 3 weeks later he got shot down.
Hommo was 3 weeks after the shooting, but the timing was just a coincidence. At the time of his death, Hommo was a member of the Peanut Crew run by Ivory Peanut Davis and James J.R. Hamilton. The previous year, in June 1999, Myron Wise Hardy was in the Lafayette Gardens housing project, sparking a turf war between drug gangs. Myron belonged to the Cash Money Brothers CMB crew, formed in 1991 and led by Myron and his incarcerated brother Damian World Hardy. CMB controlled the crack trade in Bed-Stuy's Lafayette Gardens projects. Damian had shown signs of being a in the 90s. In 1998, he was thrown out of a Brooklyn roller skating rink by a bouncer named Michael Collins. In retaliation, Damian had Collins by another CMB member. When Damian was in prison and heard about his brother's, he vowed revenge on the entire Peanut crew, including Hommo, even though Hommo was in prison at the time of the murder. The alleged shooter was Peanut Davis's nephew, Rummel Davis. It was a bloody summer for the Peanut crew. Damian ordered his enforcer, Aaron eBay Granton, to take out Peanut and his crew. The spree started when CMB member Dwayne Thor Myers, Gerard Kojak Mackins, in the vestibule of the same building where Myron Hardy was. Mackins, a member of the Peanut crew, was suspected of supplying Rummel Davis with the gun used to kill Hardy. Next, at around 2 a.m. on June 10, 2000, Hommo was lured to the corner of Quincy Street and Marcy Avenue by a woman. As he sat in his car waiting, eBay appeared at the driver's seat window and shot him in the back of the head, ending Hommo's brief return to Brooklyn streets. Tyson later paid for all of Hommo's funeral expenses. On August 1st, Junior Hamilton was shot inside Filet of Soul, a seafood restaurant he owned. And on August 10th, at around 4 a.m., eBay caught up to Peanut Davis at Club NV in New York's Soho district, shooting him twice in the back as he sat in his Range Rover. In a panic and fatally wounded, Davis hit the gas and fled the scene, accidentally hitting 38-year-old award-winning Swedish filmmaker Johan Kametz, who was walking on the sidewalk. Kametz, the director of the Wannabe and Save Tonight music videos, died after being rushed to the hospital while Davis was pronounced dead at the scene. But CMB wasn't finished yet. In 2002, Daryl Hommo Baum's older brother, Tyrone T-Rock Baum, got out of prison. But he made a critical error. He openly talked about avenging his brother's death. This kind of talk didn't go unnoticed, and when CMB members caught wind of T-Rock's intentions, they ambushed him near a construction site, shooting him 3 times in the head. It was a brutal reminder of how ruthless the streets could be. Meanwhile, Damian World Hardy had an interesting turn in his personal life. In 2002, he started dating Lil Kim, and the two were even engaged at one point. The irony here is pretty thick. Lil Kim's 1995 music video for Junior Mafia's hit song Get Money featured none other than Peanut Davis, Hardy's slain enemy, as her love interest. Lil Kim had also dated Myron Wise Hardy, Damian's brother, who was known to have physically abused her, allegedly breaking her nose. This led to the plastic surgery that Lil Kim is famously known for today. Things took another wild turn in September of 2003. Hardy got into a shootout with 50 Cent's security team outside a DoubleTree hotel in New Jersey. This beef reportedly stemmed from an earlier incident that year when Hardy confronted 50 Cent over a diss aimed at Lil Kim during a Hot 97 radio interview in New York. Fast forward to April 2005, and the Daily News reported that Damian World Hardy had a $50,000 bounty on Mike Tyson's head. Hardy believed Tyson was responsible for Hommo's. CMB members allegedly tracked Tyson and once found him in a Range Rover in the Crown Heights neighborhood. However, they couldn't go through with the hit because Tyson, like them, was a Muslim. Tyson was never charged in connection with the alleged for hire plot. Damian World Hardy managed to avoid the law for a while, but was eventually caught. In 2015, he was found guilty of ordering 6 and was sentenced to life without parole. His enforcer, Aaron eBay Granton, also received 6 life sentences. It's wild to think that for most people, living off a multi-millionaire superstar friend like Tyson would seem like a dream. But for Daryl Hommo Baum, the allure of the street life was too strong. He missed the game too much, enough to risk his life diving back into it. Despite the opportunities given to him, Hommo couldn't stay away from the dangerous world he knew so well. and his story is a chilling reminder of how quickly things can spiral out of control in the unforgiving streets. Even with connections to powerful figures like Tyson, Hommo's fate was sealed by his own choices and the relentless cycle of that engulfed him. Now circling back to 50, while 50 managed to escape death, others weren't so lucky. In July 2001, E. Moneybags was found dead in his Lincoln Navigator. There are two versions of why he was K-worded. Some say it was revenge for the K-wording of Black Jus, while others believe it was because he robbed Inc. CEO Irv Gotti and Ja Rule. Big Nose Troy was also K-worded 3 months after E. Moneybags. The police gathered enough evidence to arrest McGriff in 2002 on pending charges. During the court investigation, Supreme recalled the song Ghetto Quran, thinking it was enough to implicate 50. When the police asked 50 for more details about what he said in the record, he just told them, listen to the record. In 2003, 50 released the legendary track Many Men, where he mentioned Hommo.
What goes around comes around. Hommo shot me, 3 weeks later he got shot down.
Fun fact, in 2020, Pop Smoke and 21 Savage released their own songs referencing Many Men.
Don't cry no more, I don't look to the sky no more. Many men wanna me, dog, I feel like 50.
As the police dug deeper, they found out that Daryl Baum had a grudge against a rival gang leading to his death. The killer was identified as Damian Hardy, the ex-boyfriend of rapper Lil Kim. Also in 2003, Irv Gotti came under investigation, putting his record label Inc. in serious jeopardy. Gotti was charged with laundering money for McGriff in 2005, but the jury declared him innocent of all charges. Despite Gotti's legal victory, McGriff wasn't so lucky. He was convicted of drug racketeering and in New York federal court. Using testimony from a hitman, text messages, and video evidence, prosecutors proved that McGriff hired for $50,000. With all his and Gotti's assets seized, McGriff couldn't afford a lawyer and was given a court-appointed attorney. On April 9, 2007, McGriff was sentenced to life in prison. Supreme later claimed that 50 was a snitch, which he believed led to his life sentence. 50 denied any involvement in the case. All this drama was chronicled in a documentary series named Supreme Team, released in 2022 and directed by Nas.
The snitch at in the documentary. I'm not in that case.
Yeah.
There's nothing about nothing. All he says is, he know me, he know what that was about.
The shooting of 50 Cent had a major impact on his public image. Before the attack, people primarily knew him for his musical talent, but after taking 9 bullets and surviving, he became known for his toughness and resilience. The incident added a new layer to his persona. He started calling himself a survivor, using his experience as a way to inspire others facing their own struggles. During an episode of Oprah's Next Chapter in 2012, 50 Cent revisited the scene of the shooting and shared some vivid memories. He said, quote, "I arrived around 12 o'clock in the afternoon on May 24th. My grandmother was in the yard planting flowers. I moved over to get in the car where my friend was waiting, and suddenly a car pulled up next to us. A guy stepped out from the passenger seat, came around the car, and started shooting through the car. This shooting didn't just change 50 Cent's life and career, it also had a significant impact on the broader hip-hop community. It served as a stark reminder of and danger that often came with the drug trade, especially in neighborhoods like South Jamaica, Queens. The incident sparked a wider discussion about the roles of guns in the hip-hop world. Many artists and fans began to reflect on the dangerous lifestyle glorified in rap music and its real-life consequences. In the years following the shooting, 50 Cent's career skyrocketed. He used his newfound tough guy image to his advantage, building an empire that spanned music, movies, and business ventures. 50 Cent, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, has built an incredibly successful business empire over the years. He's dabbled in just about every industry you can think of, from music to movies to fashion. These days, he's involved in artist and talent management, record production, television and film production, and even footwear apparel and fragrances. He's got his hands in liquor, video games, mobile apps, book publishing, headphones, health drinks, and dietary supplements. It's safe to say that Jackson's business ventures are as diverse as they come. One of his earliest business moves was establishing his own record label, G-Unit Records, back in 2003, right after he hit it big in the music industry. That was just the beginning. By November of the same year, he had signed a 5-year deal with Reebok to launch a G-Unit sneakers line under his G-Unit clothing company. The move was part of his strategy to build a brand around his alter ego, which he believes is a key reason his ventures tend to succeed. Jackson didn't stop at music and fashion. In 2007, he launched a book publishing imprint called G-Unit Books. He's penned several books, including his memoir From Pieces to Weight, which sold 73,000 copies in hardcover and 14,000 in paperback. He's also co-authored a book with Robert Robert Greene titled The 50th Law, which is an urban take on Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. In 2011, he released a young adult novel called 50 Cent's Playground, which tells the story of a bullied boy and his gay mother. One of his standout business ventures was his partnership with Lasso, the company behind vitamin water. In 2004, after learning about the brand at a gym in Los Angeles, Jackson became a fan and eventually a minority shareholder. He helped create a new grape-flavored variant called Formula 50 and promoted it in his songs and interviews. This partnership paid off big time in 2007 when Coca-Cola bought Lasso for $4.1 billion. According to Forbes, Jackson earned a cool $100 million from the deal after taxes. His role in television has been nothing short of a blockbuster. As a co-star, co-creator, and executive producer of the Starz network drama Power, Jackson proved his talent wasn't confined to music and business. His involvement came with a lucrative 2-year contract, and he was represented by the Agency for the Performing Arts. Power quickly became a massive hit for Starz, with the premiere of its second season drawing a record-breaking 1.43 million viewers tuning in live. The show's success cemented Jackson's status as a force to be reckoned with in the TV world. Power wrapped up its run in 2020, but Jackson's influence did not end there. He continued to expand the universe of Power by serving as the executive producer for 3 spin-offs: Power Book 2 Ghost, Power Book 3 Raising Kanan, and Power Book 4 Force. These series have carried on the legacy of the original show, further proving Jackson's knack for producing compelling television content. In addition to his television success, Jackson has shown a deep commitment to philanthropy. In July 2011, he launched a major initiative aimed at tackling hunger, specifically focusing on providing food for 1 billion starving people in Africa by 2016. To achieve this ambitious goal, he partnered with Pure Growth Partners to introduce Street King, an energy drink. The initiative was designed to be sustainable, with a portion of the proceeds from every Street King purchase going towards providing a daily meal to an underprivileged child. This project aligned perfectly with Jackson's mission to make a significant impact on global hunger. Chris Clark, the founder and CEO of Pure Growth Partners, shared Jackson's vision for addressing global problems through innovative and sustainable business models. Clark emphasized the urgency of addressing rampant starvation in Africa and the widespread hunger affecting children worldwide. He highlighted the importance of socially responsible businesses in creating real, tangible change. In the world of music, 50 Cent has sold over 30 million albums worldwide and has a trophy case full of awards, including a Grammy, a Primetime Emmy, 13 Billboard Music Awards, 6 World Music Awards, 3 American Music Awards, and 4 BET Awards. His acting career started with the semi-autobiographical film Get Rich or Die Tryin' in 2005, which wasn't exactly a hit with critics but marked his entry into Hollywood. He also starred in Home of the Brave 2006 and Righteous 2008. Billboard recognized his impact on the music industry by ranking him 17th on their 50 Greatest Rappers list in 2023 and naming him the 6th top artist of the 2000s. Rolling Stone also gave him props on his debut album Get Rich or Die Tryin' and his hit single In Da Club, ranking them among the 100 best albums of the 2000s and 100 best songs of the 2000s at number 37 and 13 respectively. That's it for today. Until next time, bye.